Welcome to the Flexo release webinar for the first half release 2026. We will present today our highlights from the release, and let's go to the slides. Presenting today will be me, Alex for the talent modules, and my colleague Kristof for the Employee Central onboarding, as well as the platform topics. In this regards, what will be the agenda today? After a short intro, we have the release highlights. So platform onboarding and Employee Central presented by Kristof, and then performance and goals, succession, development and learning presented by me. Before we get started, short reminder, the release is already on a test system for this first half release and will be on the productive system next week, Friday. Also mark your calendars for the second half release to be ready for that one as well. So that's the points that we have, and with that I hand over to Kristof for platform and reporting.
Thank you, Alex. Okay, so there wouldn't be a release meeting for this release without talking about the latest people profile. The latest people profile will be enabled by default and cannot be turned off anymore, so everyone will be using this new feature. This is how it will look when you search for the person. This is the first site that you will see, and when you go through to the actual profile, it will be structured with the links on the left side and then the information on the right side of the screen. For the people or customers that are already using the latest people profile, in the existing latest people profile, there are also some enhancements. One of the enhancements is that on the termination details card, there are now more key fields immediately visible. So there is less need to click on the view all link. And also a new feature is that you now have the ability to force a default background on images. So that means that here, for instance, as an admin, you can upload a picture and then everyone will use that photo if you enable the force option. What is also a new option is here in the menu, you now have the ability to open the links in a new tab, which can be very useful if you're used to having more tabs open. The latest homepage will be enabled by default on the production system. If you do not want to switch yet, you can still disable it, but if you want to disable it, that is something that you need to do yourself. So you need to take action if you don't want to switch to the latest homepage. But if you switch it off, be prepared for the next release, because then it will be mandatory. So it's only temporary that you can disable it. If you make the switch, also check the mobile app if you use it, because also there the latest homepage will be applied. And then, of course, the homepage will look a little bit different. What is new in the latest homepage this release is that you now can add a brand image, as you can see on the slide, with the background of the good afternoon. It's also now possible to hide some featured tasks as an admin. And what you can now also do is you can define personal quick links here with the little edit pencil. Everyone can add up to 5 personal quick links. However, this is a feature that needs to be enabled by the admin. What is also possible on the latest homepage is that you now have a link to show all cards in the organizational updates and the needs attention section. And this is how the latest homepage can look. Of course, for every customer, it will be a little bit different. In reporting, also some enhancements are taking place. For instance, the data export is now also available in the view mode for story reports. In the past, you needed to edit the report to be able to export the data, but now you can simply stay in the view mode, and then via the link at the top of the page, you can use the export functionality. In the previous release, they also, SAP, added the feature that you can export data in the query designer. that's still there, but it's been enhanced so that now when you export your data, it will keep your column order and the sorting. So it will look like it is presented on the screen. Important note, if you still use the job description manager, this will be deprecated. So it will be replaced by the job profile builder. You still have time to make the switch, but if you are using the job description, I suggest you take the necessary steps to make the switch well in time. For onboarding, also enhancements. There is a new hiring status indicator. I will show it on the screens. That's, I think, the most interesting. Here at the left top, you can see the onboarding new hire indicator, and this is displayed when the onboardee is not yet in manage pending hires. So before manage pending hires, the data is view only because it's the onboardee that needs to take the action. It also means that the take action button here is not displayed because you don't need it in this stage of the process. However, after manage pending hires, the indicator is still present because we're still talking about an onboardee, but the all actions link here is available because now as an admin for person with correct permissions, you can update the data. When an onboarding is cancelled, the hiring indicator will also indicate that the inactive profile, but the all actions button is not displayed because, of course, in an inactive profile, you don't need to update or take actions. And when the new hire is converted to an employee, of course, we do have the all action buttons. We also have the links to the history and edit icons because, yeah, in all effects, this is a regular employee who has been hired. Onboarding works with a lot of tasks. Everyone gets, every involved participant in the process can get tasks assigned. Now you can, as an admin, use the Manage Tasks link, and that will open up a new page, the Task Management page. It looks like this, with a list of all the tasks that you have permissions to see and that can be relevant for you. So here you can see the list, and then you can also take the specific actions on that task if necessary. An enhancement that will be welcomed by a lot of our customers is the restart of the e-signature step for document flows. It was possible in the past to sign the document again, but if you wanted to do that, you needed to restart the complete onboarding process. So it was a hassle. But now you can restart only this specific step. So here on the view details, restart, and then you just need to sign the document again, and then for EC, also some enhancements. There are a few enhancements that help to keep your system clean. More technical one for hire, that when the hiring process is not yet complete, the system will not already generate timesheets because it's not necessary. So for customers using timesheet feature, this can be helpful. Also, when you have a no-show, and when an employee doesn't show up on his first working day, the handling of that situation is now more complete in SuccessFactors. So the system will stop accruals, will delete time accounts if they were already created, and the no-show will also be excluded from future runs. So it keeps your system lean and mean. Upon a termination, it's also possible to configure your system so that the future dated records that are already present in the system are deleted automatically. If you want to enable that, you can configure it based on event reason. So you specify for each event reason, if there is a record with that event reason, if you want it to be deleted automatically. However, there is one note. This feature will not work for time off related records. So if there is a return from absence present in the system, that still needs to be processed in a different way. I think everyone who has already imported phone records or email records has struggled with the primary flag, because you need exactly one primary record. And if you want to switch the flag, you need to switch it at exactly the same moment, because otherwise you will get the error that there has to be a primary record. Now, with a setting, you can enable the system so that if you import a new primary record, that the system will automatically update the previous primary record to be not primary. If you enable that setting, it will work automatically. So it can be very convenient if you import that kind of data. Employee pay transparency information and the EU legislation. SAP helps you with delivering the information that employees can ask. There are 2 new MDF objects available that you can use to store your data. On the left hand here, you can see the work category pay snapshot, which is a situation for a certain category of employees. Here you can enter the standard wages. In the second object, you have the employee pay snapshot, where you can enter the wages of that employee. And then using document generation, as you can see in the next step, you can use the templates there to fill in variables, and you can load the data from the objects into the variables and then display them in the document. And then it can look like this. So here in the generate document feature, you choose the correct template, and then automatically the variables can be filled. Of course, SAP provides you with the template objects. You can customize them to your needs, but the data itself is something that you need to fill into the objects. Talking about document generation, it's now also possible to generate documents in the docx format, so the latest file format from Microsoft Office. Also in document generation, there are some extra objects available mainly for time off, like time off itself, timesheet, or time recording objects. Time statement generation for the customers using time is also enhanced. There are more variables available, more objects that you can use to fetch data from, and you can also use the time statement in more places. So here you can see it's available in the timesheet approval center now as well. A new feature for time is the attendance quota, where employees can request extra time to work extra hours, and then the manager or the responsible person can approve prior to the execution of the extra work. This makes the approval of the timesheets more easy because there is less work at the moment itself. And then I would like to hand the word back to Alex for performance and goals.
Thank you very much. That was an interesting overview about what we have in the platform, onboarding, and PC part. So let's then take a look on the talent modules, starting with performance and goals. It was like already for some time that the latest experience for the performance forms, as I said, it will be deprecated with second half release 2026. This replacement of this legacy performance management form experience was now moved to the first half 2027. In this regards, it's like a little bit less pressure on getting things migrated, but still it would be good to check that one. So if you are still on the old version or legacy version, to check how it's looking in the latest version. With this first half 2026 release, the latest experience will be automatically enabled in PV and production environments. So similar to how we have with the latest homepage, if you don't want to have it activated, then you would need to switch it back. So there's in performance management feature settings, you have the option to turn it off. Otherwise, in performance, with last release, there was like the option or more options coming in to use business rules to have effects on the performance forms, to hide something, make it mandatory and so on, based on certain criteria. And SAP was like on the one hand enhancing this, but also adding new rule scenarios. In this case, we're talking about the launch form based on assessment outcome. So here, if you have like one form where you have ratings, as example, the potential rating that is high, that then automatically a leadership development form could be launched, a follow-up form for the one that you're having, or if the overall performance rating is below expectations, that the launch performance improvement plan form can be launched. And people are aware, so when you have the confirmation screen where you can say, okay, move to the next step, you would have the information in there so that we have the, so that it's no surprise. It's also possible that from this original form that is triggering this follow-up form creation, that you have data from there, let's say ratings or custom field information, forwarded to the follow-up form, so that you have the information for why this follow-up form was created, or other information that are needed for the follow-up form are there as well. What was also coming in is the latest experience of the team overview. So this is like not mandatory at the moment. This will just be rolled out in 2027. So this is like now the first approach that SAP is having for this redesigned team overview, and should basically have a cleaner UI, improved accessibility, and a template-based structure that shows only forms per selected template. What does this mean? In the old version, you had like a long page where you had like different headers in for different templates, and you could scroll if you like had it all expanded quite a long time if you had more people in there. And now they changed it so that you have at the top the option then to select the template for which you want to see the forms, similar to how it's also done in the goal management, where you can switch between the goal plans via drop-down. This is now also adapted on this team overview. Besides that one, the old version of the team overview was quite cluttered. There were quite many links to open the form, icons to get information, what is the column about, or also due dates and with whom it is. And this was like decluttered and made easier so that you have not multiple options, but you have like one button or one icon where you click on and get the information, so that you don't have multiple instances of, let's say, the icon that is telling you what you can see in that specific column. Also, what was like done is for the ask for feedback option. If you use that one, then in the past it was like sometimes not that easy to see who was already getting a request for feedback and where this was, where the status was. And this is now easier. So you have then a link to open, and you have like a pop-up where you see the information with the names of the people and the status where regarding the feedback request. There's also a new admin tool for mass change of goal plan states. So they introduced this mass change of goal plan states admin tool to allow administrators to update goal plan states for multiple employees using a single upload. So single upload already tells you it's like not directly in the system that you selected there, but it's similar to the performance goal or development goal import, where you can download a template, fill in for whom the change should be done. There are different filter options, like for the user, manage ID, but also for organizational information, and then put also in the information to which goal plan state this should be changed. And when you upload the file, then the tool can process up to 30,000 state changes via the CSV and perform validation before applying changes. The question how much you will use it is depending how you set up your performance cycle until now. So from SAP best practice, where you would have the launch of the form quite late, let's say with the evaluation and not with the goal setting, and just work on the goal plan before. There was like until now no option to do this mass change centrally, and either the managers needed to have the option to change the goal plan state from, let's say, draft to locked, or you needed to have like as a workaround a performance form where it's basically just like having the change from one goal plan state to the other in that you were launching. So in this regards, that is not needed anymore for customers that already have like the goal setting in the performance form. There's like no real difference, because then this is like forwarded or changed the goal plan state based on the change of the performance form step anyways. There are also new field and tails that are supported in story report, and inactive user data is also reportable. This is regarding the continuous performance management or continuous feedback. So basically, in story reports, you have now the option for the discussion topics, meeting notes, and topic descriptions that you can also now report on, which was not possible until now. Additionally to that one, it now also allows inactive user data to be included in story reports, which was not the case here. That was it basically for performance and goals. So let's switch to succession and development. There's a new permission control over successor nominations, which is like closing a gap from my perspective that we had there. So there's now a new granular role-based permission that lets administrator control who can view and edit the successor nomination. So until now, the problem was if you wanted to see successor nominations in the succession org chart, you needed to have the succession planning permission. And if you had that one, you could also nominate. So in cases where you wanted a role to see the succession nominations, but not be able to add new nominations, that was like not really possible. And now with this new permission, you can do it that a role can see the successor nominations but cannot add. Besides that one, there's also the update to add a new apply target population restriction option in the nomination setup, so that you have it there as well. So that's it for the new permission control. There's also automatic archiving of completed development goals and the option to don't generate homepage cards. So basically two topics that we have here on the slide. The automatic archiving of completed development goals is an option when you're in managed templates and you're going to the development goal plan and you're going to status. You have below the trigger completion drop down that was like until this release, the last part. You have now two new entries in development. One is the completed category, so to say, okay, when should this be moved to completed? When should it be archived, basically? And then you also have the option that you do not want to trigger the card on the homepage. For the archive or for this moving the completed development goal to a certain category is more for customers that have like a development goal plan that is going over a long period. If you have like development goal plans that are just for 1 year, then it's normally not that crowded. There are not so many entries that you need an own category to which it's moved. But I also know customers that have like 10-year, 15-year, 50 years, whatever, development goal plan time frame. And then if you're doing it for a couple of years, it was getting quite full with also completed development goals. And now with this category option, you can create like a category option archive or completed or however you want to call it, and use that one so that the completed ones are moved there, and you easily can identify which are the ones that are currently active. So for customers with like a shorter development goal plan period, like a year, it should normally not be that much of a difference or not needed that much, but for the ones that have like a longer time frame, there it should make it easier to handle this. Besides that one, and that's not only for the development goals, that's also for the performance goals. There was coming in the option to not generate homepage cards. So when you define your statuses, it could be that you not only have like a, I don't know, started, in progress and completed, but you have like more status options. Also some that indicate like cancelled or not needed anymore, or something like that. That would indicate that this goal will not be done anymore. But until now, the system was always showing on the homepage the goals which are not completed. So basically for the homepage, it was like not foreseen that you have more than the completed status in regards to goals that you're not working more on it anymore. And this one was now changed. So you now have the drop down where you can define for which statuses the cards, the to-do cards on the homepage should not be created. What cannot be done is to select the same status in the do not create and in the trigger completion drop down. Then you get an error, but normally that should not be necessary because there's just one that is triggering completion, and then you can have one or more marked to not create the homepage cards. So that was it basically for succession development already. So let's also switch to learning. Something that is like quite important, or will be, I guess, quite important for customers that have multiple employments in EC, is the person-centric experience for these multiple employments. That was something that was like not possible until now. Until now, you always had like the different users in the LMS, and the information so that you could switch or see it like in one view was like not there. And now this is changing so that you can, if you activate that one, the users and admins see a unified view of the learning assignments and history at the person level, and also can manage employment data in the employment tab and act on all the assignments without switching the employment. Also, I mean, the merge option was already there. Now with the user merge assistant, the administrators get additional help to validate data by identifying the potential duplicates and reducing errors. And if you migrate to that option, then the admins use a new person connector to ensure accurate mapping of employment-related fields between EC and learning. Please be aware, this is not an update, an item that you can do directly from the upgrade center. But this is something where you need to create a ticket for SAP support to get it migrated. And if you take a look in the What's New viewer, there's some information there. There's also a link to a blog where with like all the different informations, including also guides for the migration and for the transition. And in the blog, it's mentioned that you would need like more than one test system. So it's currently only possible for the test system, but that you would need more than one test system to do that, because basically the whole instance is migrated, and then you cannot easily like change test other changes that you want from this migration. So in this regards, if you want to go in that direction, to try it on the test system. Create a ticket for SAP support, check regarding if it's really needed to have this second test system as indicated in the blog, because in the What's New viewer it's not mentioned as a prerequisite. And then I think it will be interesting to have the data together and not need to search for how many employments does the user have, where do we find the right information. Good. Other thing is that we also have enhancements to external learning events. So there's like there's add to learning history option that we have, and in the add to learning history option, there's the one for the external learning events. And from these external learning events, There are now new fields, the additional details, delivery method, category, source URL. These fields were not available until now. The all data APIs also support the newly added fields, so you can also get the information via the APIs if you need it in another system. And as the number of fields was like expanded and you have more fields now in there, there was like a new entry in the entity configuration added, the external event, where you can now like go in and now say, okay, which fields do you want to enable, disable? Like you already have it for other entity configurations like user, class, and so on. So that's something that was not there until this release, and with this enhancement was like coming in as well. With that, we're coming to the topic of quick access to learning details on the learning homepage. So when you're searching and want to see details of the course, until now you clicked on it and you were getting like to a new page where everything, the details were shown. This is now not needed anymore. You can now also view the key learning details directly from the learning cards on the learning homepage without navigating to a separate detail page. So you have a popover, so you have the information, click on it, and then you have the popover where you have like a snack view, displaying information such as like the learning ID, description, rating, associated skills, and other metadata. And this is like working in the sections for the required learning, important learning, and invest in myself. So there you don't get forwarded to an home page, but you can like directly do it. Check it there. There are also enhancements to the analytic cards on the latest homepage. So with like last release, the latest homepage was coming in, and on the latest homepage, you also had the options for analytic cards. So if you're not using the latest homepage, you will not see that option for analytic cards. And for these analytic cards, there are like 3 at the moment. The third one that was like coming in with this release is this total learning hours analytic cards, and it displays the employee's total learning hours for the year up to date. So here we see how it's looking, if it's like if it's active, and you can you define it via manage homepage. When you're going to the analytic cards, you have options there. You can also add a URL. The way that you can add so that to define where should be the user should be going if they click on the card. And besides that one, they also added a new column in the setup regarding click to show. So when you so basically you have like then one column where you can say should the card be enabled, and then you can have the option to say should it be shown the data automatically. So that would be here the left hand side. If you say like no, it should not be automatically shown, then the card would show just like the information that the learning hours would be there, and then would give you the information that you need to click on the show button to get this view. So in this regards, if people are like going in and want to take a look at something with a colleague or with somebody else, and don't want to show this information directly, or the people see it directly, then this click to show option is like there to make it like not visible until you click on it. Good. Then the next one is the information that the opt-in setting to the Horizon theme for learning is deleted. So the ability to opt into the Horizon visual theme is deleted, going to be only available option then. So when you're going to the system administration configuration, system configuration, and open the LMS admin file, then you have this admin Fiori Horizon enabled setting that was removed, so you don't find it there anymore. And that should make sure that there's a consistent visual experience across all of the SAP applications. With that one, just like the last part that I have here is the deprecation of the legacy learning search. So, I mean, the enhanced search feature was like already coming in quite a while ago. And until now, the library configuration, settings, and system administration configuration, system configuration library, it was like an option there. Now it will be removed, except the settings for the show item rating and catalog, enable browser library, and library search filter. And this will be deleted with the next release. So with the first half release 2027, so May 14th, 2027. This will be coming up. So in this regards, take the time until then to take a look at the latest enhanced search feature and do the switch already before. I know it's always like nice to have more time, but if you're waiting too long and getting pushed, then you might not have like checked everything, or so better to like prepare and test the things beforehand and activate it and not wait until it's pushed. At the moment, some screens still point to the old library, like add to learning history. That should be then until the first half release 2027 also fixed. With that one, we're basically finished with the release highlights, and with that, we're coming to the frequently asked questions topic, and I see that there was already a question coming in. Library will be removed, and the yellow browse library exists. I didn't quite understand what's get removed in specific. So we have the topic for the old search. So when you're searching and you have like this result overview, it's like the enhanced search and like the old search, and this is like looking differently. And there are settings for the old search that were used, and these settings will be deprecated, so not all of them will be existing anymore. There are 3 exceptions that will be staying, but the others will be taken out, these setting options, from the configuration file. So when you're going to the configuration file for the library and take a look there for the settings, then you will see, or there will be a change regarding which settings are included there. That is regarding what is getting removed. So there are 3 exceptions where they say, okay, this will stay in there, but otherwise other settings that are regarding the let's say learning search will be taken out. I hope that answered the question.
If you still have a question, please feel free to contact us so we can help you. But for now, I just want to thank you for joining us and wish you a nice day. Bye-bye.